Hello there, I'm leesusss. Welcome back to Anno 2205. Just peering at the street life here, we have some slightly odd-looking future outfits there. It appears to be like a... Look at those moves! Like it's a suit and tie combo, but maybe these guys are wearing shorts or maybe skirts. I can't quite see their hairstyles. And I saw before as well. Yeah, there we go. Oh! Little scooters, little hover scooters. I think we're heading towards the Wally future here with these guys. But there you go. I don't know what you two are fishing for, because apparently the fish stocks have crashed. The fish are almost extinct. That's what we heard earlier from whatever his name is. I don't know, Nick, Nasty Nick, that creepy guy. Although I have seen whales diving around. Now, of course, they could be krill munching whales, but I don't suppose the plankton doing very well either. With the state of the seas as they are, they're probably rather too warm for plankton. But maybe I'm wrong about that. What else have we got around here? I've been peering around, really see what interesting things I can find. We're back here by the
this year's wine vintage was
back here by the sports centre. Yeah, I think we're I think we've tapped it out for now for odd things happening on the street. I do like cruising around like this though, seeing what strange thing to put in there. Are you guys?
Who dares?
Either they're sunbathing, which I hope, or there's been a terrible accident. I'm sure they're sunbathing. I'm sure they're sunbathing outside the trading centre there. But again, I've never seen this before either. I love it, but I think there's definitely more of these guys around now, which is odd. I think maybe because of the number of buildings I've got, or maybe it's advances. I don't know. I'm not sure. Kind of fun though. Anyway, we don't want to be here. We don't want to be in this zone. Actually, do we? We'll come back to here in a second, because I now have enough people. We're going to do something else first, though. By the way, while you were away, while you were sleeping, I did a couple of things. I bought out, what's his name again? I can't remember his name is. Whoever owns Soyev, I can't remember his name is. He was the really frustrating, kind of patronising guy. Finally bought his stuff out. I've been starting to buy into the Ibarra Fox one as well. Sorry for the slightly distracted intro there. Real life things happening at the same time. Deliveries and such like, and things like that. Anyway, what we're going to do is go back here.
Superiors are starting to ask questions about you and Papadakis.
What? Okay, so this is Nick's quest here. I haven't seen that before, to build this other space elevator. Space team
incoming.
And we did so what he was asking for was huge amounts of additional logistics. And by the way, I made a mistake in one of the previous videos because I said that logistics is across the entire map, not each per island. It's not quite true. So, how did I see that before? I realised I've made a mistake and I was doing the editing.
Work and life go hand in hand here.
358.
Aren't they a lovely couple?
648. 54. So it is per island. I was wrong. There is a factor per island. But he wanted a logistics increase across the entire sector. So that's what I did. Okay, and I did that by making 2 little logistics centres over here. I made one here, which is just a massive collection of these stupid things here, which I can now get rid of. They were costing me a lot of energy, a lot of money and energy. And I've got another group over here that I'll also, look at this lot, that I'll get rid of. Spare transporters, I guess, for doing whatever we're doing over here. And then Sam just said, because everyone thinks Nick's a shifty bugger, because he is, that it's possibly harming our reputation. Sam, I own most of the corporations. That's an arrogant form. That's an arrogant way of talking about it, but it's true. I think we'll be fine. Anyway, and we're about to get dominance in the heavy industry as well. Just to list off just a quick flex there. List off my achievements. Attached to. Okay, there's a complication. The global union has threatened to shut down our second elevator. You know how to deal with your colleagues, don't you? Shut them around, will you? Careful, Nick. Sounds like you're bossing me around, mate. I don't like that. So the global inspectors want to have a shifty at this, and I don't know why they always want to be towed. I mean, the reason you tow ships in the real world is because they're too big to get into port safely. Like some huge container ship turns up, and it needs to be towed carefully by the equivalent of a tractor into port. And believe me, these if you've never looked at this stuff, I don't know. I mean, when I look around, I just like learning things. Okay, and I hear about when I find new bits of information, I like to absorb as much as I can about certain things. And if you've never looked at them before, find out about tugboats. Okay, the sort of things that do these towing things.
Are fixed.
They're kind of incredible. Fire ships as well, for putting out fires on ships as well. Kind of incredible in sort of the engineering and the amount of power these things can generate to tow these massive container ships around. They're just engines, floating engines, ridiculous amounts of horsepower. It's amazing stuff. Anyway, distracted, I know, I'm sorry, but fascinating stuff, for me at least. Yeah, but these ships here, I don't see why they need towing. It's part of the game, I guess, part of the interaction. Let's deliver them, and they can have a look at the elevator. I mean, they started to build it themselves and then stopped. I'm helping, really.
You got that done pretty well. Ready for your next job?
So shifty. Bad news from the inspection, I'm afraid. Ports only have one elevator for a reason. And the reason is stability. Once we reinforce the foundation, it'll be fine. What foundation? It's on the sea! I guess it's fixed into bedrock. But I guess it's not actually floating like I thought it was. It's somehow drilled into the seabed. But even so, wouldn't the seas have an effect? Anyway, they want more stability. So fine. They want a surplus of super alloys. Now, we were delivering super alloys come from the Arctic, and we were delivering some anyway. I know I was delivering some here, but we can actually stop.
You impressed my CEO. You should be proud.
I am proud, Aiden. Go back to work, buddy. Make me another coffee. There we go. We were already shipping super alloys into here for all the expansion work we're doing, because the more advanced buildings you require super alloys to work. We can stop that for a while. I was shipping super alloys here, but I think I stopped. Yeah, because I wasn't doing any expansion in here for a while, so we can set that up again. And then we can expand our production, because I actually had a bigger production and I dropped it again. So that gives us 9.
Transfer route registered.
Now we can go to the Kingate Protectorate and make some more super alloys. And while that's happening, we will then go back and we will finish off the original mission, which is the stuff from the other zone. Right, now 1 second. So super alloys. This is here. I've only got a single one. That's all I'm doing. It's just making. Plasma smelter's just doing this. It's not making a small amount of these. That's what it's doing. So if I do this, I don't actually gain very much, do I? Oh, why are you so laggy, game? Stop being laggy. You were fine earlier. Why are you being laggy? Where's the transport route? So one good way to set it up is just to do this. We're going to need a lot. We're going to have a temporary hard run of
updating transfer options
of super alloys. Why are you being funny, game? What's wrong with you? Let's max this out. What's the? Okay, we're still massive. We're gonna have to briefly build another plasma smelter. I think is the answer. Okay, I've never expanded this that much. I've never needed to. Wow, you can make a lot of these. Make 2 more modules. Okay, but we're behind on the actual aluminium and things. Again, the mines aren't doing very much. Even that has done a huge amount. It's all my boosts and bonuses into industry is what's doing this. I'm short on molybdenum. Where's my molybdenum mines? I've got a few, but it's also used to make... I've already maxed it out. It's used to make the eyeballs.
This building space is assigned only to you.
Howard. Shut your face. Well, that was a refreshingly polite Howard for a change. Unusual. How are we doing here again? And what's the status? We're still going to have to build another one, I think, probably. But that's okay. It's a temporary thing. Yeah, we're nearly there, look. Let's build another... plasma smelter.
Acceptable.
Will you... Mate,
Transfer routes.
I will be buying you out
An
soon,
adequate
okay? Just
supply of goods.
leave me alone. Ah, power. Power's okay. I know I reopened the geothermal over there. So that's fine. Just short on aluminium. I think we're going to be there in a minute. It's only for like 20 minutes or whatever it is anyway. It's fine. And then we'll turn them all off again. And I could do the power fix as well, but I don't really need to. So I think... I'll call him Naughty Nick rather than Nasty Nick. I think old Naughty Nick should be happy now. There we go. We've got enough coming in. Right. Let's ignore that. We won't go over there. We will go back to Investor Land, or possibly Synthetic Land, and we will finish the 6th reactor. And I think that's the finish of this sector here. And we'll talk about what that actually means for everything, really. Right. Power on, guys.
Central unit at full capacity. Effect range increased considerably. Sequential process started.
The survey team reports the facility is a mass production plant for sentient androids. Stricter AI laws cause its shutdown. Urge you to reconsider this policy. So, there were AI in 2070. There was a brief problem to do with a virus outbreak, but it didn't mean the AI were bad necessarily. The AI, but there's some sort of stricter rules that have come in place now that meant that AI were not allowed. They were limited to Adam and things like that. Now, they've just told us we can turn it back on again. I think really in a situation like this, I should really talk to the World Council first. But they don't get a choice. So I'm just going to do it anyway and turn these guys back on again.
At your service. First contact established. Data scan completed.
Sequential process started.
Synthetics are sentient androids and function autonomously from their mainframe. They provide reliable and low-maintenance workforce. Upgrade investors' estates to have synthetics move in. What does it say here? These synthetic life forms are sentient like me, but independent from the core unit. They are compliant with the Father protocol, and I suggest integrating them into your workforce. So Father was the one who had the virus problem before. He was the main AI that the tech's unit, the tech faction used as the sort of... He didn't tell them what to do. He
Next,
was
astronaut team.
He was
Incoming.
like a father. He was a guiding light for the tech faction in the previous game, and he was a supporting unit. He wasn't telling them the faction what to do. He wasn't like the king or the boss or anything. He was just the guiding light that they all used, to interface with and transport information around. He's the one that got the virus and caused problems previously. So they've obviously now got Father protocol rules to prevent things going wrong, and they've said that
My prime directive is to support you. All systems are precisely tailored to your needs, and I monitor all the relevant parameters continuously. You can trust me blindly.
trust me blindly. You were okay until you said that point. Right. We can now upgrade the investors one more time, okay? It takes graphene, petrochemicals, and magnetite. I'd forgotten this, so it does require some additional special materials. Not necessarily a problem. So, I complained before about you could only get them from conflict zones. That's not true. There are three map regions around the world where you can produce regular amounts of graphene, petrochemicals, and magnetite. And if you really want to, you can change your technology nexus so that you get those resources as well. Lady, I'm trying to talk. Shush. So, for example, somewhere over here, I'm sure there's one that says that. I know you can do it because I've seen it before. I was doing it for a while. It wasn't really very good. There you go. You obtain 11 graphene units per minute, which is kind of fast. So there's a number of ways of getting this stuff that you doesn't require going and having silly punch-ups with Virgil. But
At your service.
so there's a Eve code. So Eve is the one, the helper from the previous game, the one who helped us directly. But we're deemed too advanced and shut down. I do not understand why. As that may be, androids have less needs than humans concerning space very effectively. So here they are. Cool building.
All
A follow-up is needed.
Support the synthetics. Attract a population of 100,000. Synthetics integration is experiencing pushbacks from the general populace. Can't imagine why. Sharing work will relieve your human employees and facilitate the acceptance of synthetics. Makes me think of Portal 2 with your boss could now be a robot, or a brother is not a robot. So, let's have a look at some changes. There's 5,000 of the buggers in here, okay?
I am programmed to both adapt my data structure to meet the current situation and to continually optimize it. This means I learn, just like you.
Okay, there's 5,000 of them in here compared to 2,500 before. Okay.
All parameters. Correct.
Effective workforce is 383 versus 437, which isn't as good. You know, I'd heard that's good, but that these synthetics are better than us in terms of producing workforce, but I don't believe that's true. These guys are producing more workforce. However, if you look here, they want replicators, quantum computers, anti-grav compensators and androids, which is the same as these guys here, but that's only the tier 4. They don't require luxury food, IntelliWare, etc., all the previous tier items. Okay, they only want tier 4 goods. Amazing.
All parameters. Correct.
However, that's the kicker. These guys don't produce any revenue. They don't pay any bloody taxes. Goddamn millennials. Second millennials. Whatever they're
Work
called.
and life
I
go
don't know.
hand in hand
So,
here. And
just to
only
characterise
a
that,
couple.
these guys use all the most expensive products you make.
You have a
okay?
magnificent view from up here of a magnificent city.
Lovely. This lot don't really cost very much, actually, to tell you the truth. Well, it seem like a lot. Even bioenhancers from the moon. This stuff is not expensive to produce. Really, not compared to the other bits.
Just look at all this.
And you go from what you do is worse than that, you take your biggest tax producers, 4,700 revenue being produced,
All
and you make it
parameters.
0 minus the cost of these. Kind of a problem. Okay? There's two other problems here as well that I worry about. Right. First of all, when you take a Steve and you upgrade him, you can think of him becoming a more upgraded person if you like, or the society allows more people to be upscaled in terms of their production. I mean, doesn't make sense really that only 3,500 workers are able to support 230,000 of the richest people in the world. Yeah, doesn't make sense across my entire empire. But we can sort of give that. Let that go. Fine, whatever. The pyramid is always the other way. Lots of workers to support a small number of rich people. Like we have now. Even with massive automation, that makes more sense. Okay? But imagine that Steve is being upscaled here. He's getting a better job. And then we take whatever her name is, Irene, and we make her into a Dennis. We turn Dennis into a Vivian. I found her name the other day. She's a Vivian, apparently. She looks like a Vivian. Okay. Then you take a Vivian, and you make her into a Beep Boop robot. Okay? These guys are humans. And these guys are humans.
Of course, stay as long as you
And
want.
Dennis is a human. And even Steve's a human, kind of. He's just a worker. He's a pleb. There he is, there's Steve. If you imagine Steve being upscaled to these guys, where have the humans gone? Did they move out? My population doesn't say so. I've suddenly got 5,000 robots. Okay? Synthetics, whatever you want to call them. Right? Okay. So, did we mulch them and replace them with a bunch of blanks? You get that reference. You have very good taste.
I would have sent for you.
Kind of worrying, okay? And this is where the real kicker comes. Okay, so we want 100,000 of these.
Bid on company share.
There's an achievement after
Placing
this,
own bid
which is
advisable.
to make, I think, to make 1 million people. That's the next achievement after this one. And the one after that, I think, is 4 million synthetics.
Mission objectives achieved.
However, the more you increase mission objective, well, you're here, you're taking over. The more of these guys you produce, the harder and harder it is to support it, because you constantly eat away at your balance. My balance was really healthy.
You have a magnificent view from up here.
247. That's a smaller one now, I think. No, is that a bigger one? There we go.
You have a magnificent.
Company trademark.
This is what I meant about
Popularity.
I can ruin everything if I want to. And you may think it's not too bad, but of course, I need more of these now. These are the most expensive things you can make, pretty much. I need more of them coming in.
I would have sent for you anyhow.
Let's put a few more in, shall we? Hold on. How many are we doing here? How close are we? Nearly halfway there.
You have a magnificent.
By the way, you can't
Cargo
upgrade small
stations.
ones, only bigger
Block
buildings.
them. Don't let anyone escape.
Virgil, you're just annoying me now, buddy. Right, let me go and deal with
Business
this.
successes multiply.